Well, we could talk about the problem of SUVs in city traffic and the debates around this, but let's talk song. Today I'm going to react to and analyze How Did It End by Taylor Swift from the Tortured Poets Department, suggestion by paying members Rafael Figueroa and Jennifer Grinder, top commenter painting pictures in the sky as well as regular viewers Rob TS, CJHIF, Daisy May, Henke Reboot, Rubja 1, Sarah Christine, Emma Fink, Totally Robst, F Caster, Martin 13 Feet, Katoneko 14, Carl Legion Clamor, Timothy Theiss, and Jolaxi Fair. I'm really interested in finding out what makes How Did It End special. I'm really interested in learning more about Taylor Swift's amazing songwriting. So without further ado, let's get going. Boom, step 1, find the tonal center. I believe we are in the key of F major. Let's find out the chord progression next. Interesting 6/8 beat, I believe, right? This cool. One 6 minor something 5. Is it 1 6 minor 3 minor 5? I believe it is, right? So yes it is, it's a 1 6 minor 3 minor 5, relatively unconventional to include that 3 minor. That certainly saddens things up a little bit. In the second progression we have got this melody hook, this right from C to A, forming the 5 and the 3 of the chord. And the Taylor Swift signature leap, the 6th leap, this time from C to E, again outlining the chords. And circling a little bit around the E and the D.
We hereby conduct this postmortem.
All right, this is beginning of verse 1. Let's find out what the melody does.
We hereby conduct
F major arpeggio from the 1 to the E, 3 to the 5 to the 3, right?
this postmortem.
We stay on those 3 chord notes.
He was a hothouse flower to my outdoorsman.
Very, very short visit of the G, but for the rest, we really only have got the F, the A, and the C. Short appearance of the G, for now only pentatonic chords of the F major scale. Right? Let's see how things develop before we look at lyrics.
Our melodies were such we could not cure them.
Right? Always the same ideas. F, A, C.
And so a touch that was my birthright became foreign.
Tiny variation in the melody at the end.
And so a touch that was my birthright became foreign.
First appearance of a non-pentatonic chord of the E, that then wants us to go to the root note again, right? That really pulls toward the F. Let's look at lyrics now. We hereby conduct this post-mortem. He was a hothouse flower to my outdoorsman. I don't understand this, but never mind. Our melodies, like M-A-L-A, not M-E-L-O. Our melodies were such we could not cure them, and so a touch that was my birthright became foreign. I would say that we have got a relatively untypical AAAA rhyming pattern. Why untypical? Because the words are really special. Postmortem rhyming with outdoorsman, rhyming with not cure them, rhyming with became foreign, right? So really loose rhymes that still form a relationship with each other. Poetic, and I don't know what it's about.
Come one, come all, it's happening again.
Alright, this is whatever, a pre-chorus, I believe. We also changed the chords, so the first thing that we must find out is what the new chord progression is.
The empathetic hunger descends.
Weird voicings, but basically a 1-5-1-5 idea. F major to C major, F major to C major, with the melody doing new stuff as well. Again, starting after the downbeat, something that we know from the verses already.
Come one, come all.
Alright, again, A, C, A, something we know from the verse, and this landing on the G.
It's happening again.
Alright, first appearance of the D, for now the highest note in the song. It's happening again. But again, outlining in this relatively limited range for now.
The empathetic hunger descends.
Repeat the melodic motif, right? New lyrics, but it's still this. And of course, the descent, prosodic element, has to go down, right? The empathetic hunger descends, which is why we go from the D down to the A. Really considerate melody writing. The lyrics are come one, come all, it's happening again, the empathetic hunger descends. I would say short line, long line, and the last short line rhyming with the long line, right? Again, certainly rhyming with descends.
We'll tell no one except all of our friends.
Oh, it might be more interesting than I thought first, because I think I heard a G major chord. Let's listen to this section from the top again.
Come one, come all, it's happening again.
I think so, yes, I think we might be in a Lydian mode. We might be, actually, because with the introduction of that G chord, yes, we could talk about modal interchange, but for now, there was no appearance of a B flat, neither in the chords nor in the melody, so we could certainly argue that the song is a Lydian song, and because the G major featuring the B is part of the F Lydian scale and not of the F Ionian scale, I think that we are talking about a Lydian song. We certainly had the repetition of the melody in the second half of what I now think might also be the chorus, because it ends with the title of the song with the words. The second half was certainly still... Right? The melody was the same. The lyrics are, we'll tell no one except all of our friends. We must know how did it end. Was there a melodic variation at the end?
We must know. How did it end?
Certainly. Okay, we must know. Break. Rest, I should say. How did it end? And landing on this E is another, let's say, justification or argument for the fact that we might in fact be in some kind of C Ionian F Lydian environment. Let's see how they resolve this how did it end idea.
How did it end?
Okay, they do go to the F, where the E is the major 7, right? But it certainly sounds very Lydian now. Alright, let's see how things continue from here on. Melody, secondary hook that we know from the intro, right? With that 6th leap.
We were blind to unforeseen
We were blind to unforeseen. Is that?
We hereby conduct.
Yes, it's the verse beginning of the melody. I think it's a bit more wordy, a couple of syllables more, but certainly the same inspiration, certainly the same melodic phrase.
We learn the right steps to different dances.
All right, stuff we know from verse 1.
And fell victim to interlopers' glances.
I'm going to talk about the victim mispronunciation that you won't like.
Lost the game of chance, what are the chances?
And with that beautiful internal rhyme, we could say, lazy rhyme because it's the same word, but lost the game of chance, what are the chances? This is certainly second verse, very, very similar to the first verse in terms of melodic and lyrical development. The lyrics are, we were blind to unforeseen circumstances. I think this is the first mispronunciation because the word should be circumstances, right? And not circumstances. It's a matter of stresses. You know that this is my pet peeve. This is something that I pay close attention to. We learned the right steps to different dances, right? So circumstances doesn't really rhyme with dances unless you misstress it. And fell victim to our interlopers' glances. Really beautiful words, but listen to the stress of the victim idea. A bit weird.
And fell victim to
right? And fell victim to interlopers' glances, right? Interlopers' glances, I buy this, but and fell victim, tiny misstress. Taylor Swift signature. Lost the game of chance, what are the chances? I expect a return to that chorus idea.
Soon they'll go home to their husbands, smug cause they know they can trust him.
No, the expectations were deceived. So we stay in that chord progression from the verse and we introduce a totally new melodic and rhythmic idea. Still melody beginning after the downbeat, but certainly a variation with...
Soon they'll go home to their husbands.
Right, from the F to the G. Eighth note melody, eighth note rhythm, I should say, that then repeats with this here.
Smug cause they know they can trust him.
Sorry.
Smug cause they know they can trust him. Then feverishly calling their cousin.
Third instance. And we have got 3 lines only. This might in fact be the pre-chorus that they skipped in the first progression, right? We had verse directly going into the chorus, verse 2, now something new that might have pre-chorus function, and maybe we now go to chorus number 2. Why might this have pre-chorus function? Especially because they introduce an unbalanced number of lines. They introduce 3 lines with soon they'll go home to their husbands, smug because they know they can trust him, then feverishly calling their cousins, creating this feeling of unbalance and really wanting us to move forward, creating tension. And let's see what happens after this.
Then feverishly calling their cousins.
Also with the dominant chord before the F.
Guess who we ran into at the shops.
This is chorus. Different lyrics. This is the irritating bit, but it's certainly the melody. Right? And this F to C to G progression that we know from chorus number 1. Again, the into idea, a bit mistressed. Guess who we ran into at the shops, but never mind.
Walking in circles like she was lost.
Again, walking in circles, right? No, it's walking, it's not walking.
Didn't you hear they called it all off?
Interesting addition of that all syllable, because the phrase can also be, didn't you hear they called it off? But because they needed this additional syllable, because the melody phrase defined this, they included this all kind of as a filler, something that good lyricists know how to do.
One gasp and then how did it end?
Okay, and again we land on this E, on this major 7 idea of the F major chord. Is it primary bridge time? Oh, I think I know what this is. It's a D minor, G, A minor, and F. Let's look at this from the C Ionian scale perspective for a second. Then we would have a 2 minor to 5, something that we know as a jazz cadence that then does the deceptive resolution to the A minor, and then we go to the F, kind of the Lydian afterthought to that. D minor, G, A minor, sad home, but then the lift again to the F. Really, really cool. Will there be melody, or is that just instrumental section? Really, really beautiful melody. So again, melody beginning after the downbeat, something that I spot as the recurring theme, not using that potential to create contrast between parts, but in that case, because the chords do change considerably, I think that's okay in terms of contrast. Let's look at the melody. Oh, interesting. Interesting leap there. So we start with steps and then we do the leap. Okay. So we've got a minor third leap there after a lot of whole note and half note steps. Is it this? But and the Taylor Swift signature 6th leap, something that we've heard in so many Taylor Swift songs already. Variation to that. We start with the 6th leap, but instead of doing this, so instead of approaching the C from below, we now approach it from above. It becomes a minor 7 leap, and it's basically taken up a half step. And a variation of that new idea. I think might be it. Yes. Because it's the G major chord that we hear underneath, right? Which is why they have to end like this. My beloved ghost in me. The motifs are all very similar. Cool. Sitting in a tree. Arpeggio melody, E, G, C, outlining the C major chord that we do not hear there. D, Y, I, N, G. And D, Y, I, N, G is of course a K, I, S, S, I, N, G wink, sitting in a tree dying instead of kissing. G. Oh, interesting! And we end this bridge idea with a very, very short chorus snippet with "It's happening again" and... How did it end? This time... melodic variation, okay? It's not... but... Interesting, interesting, interesting. Lyrics before we move on. Say it once again with feeling, how the death rattled breathing, silenced as the soul was leaving, the deflation of our dreaming, repeating almost vamp-like, almost hypnotic repeating of that A rhyme word with cool alliterations with silenced as the soul was leaving, 2 S's, the deflation of our dreaming, 2 D's, leaving me bereft and reeling, 2 R sounds, my beloved ghost and me, sitting in a tree, and then D-Y-I-N-G. I can't pretend like I understand. I think it says, right? Can't pretend like I understand. Ad-libby variations with new lyric ideas that all form rhymes with how did it end.
How did it end?
And this time, the resolution that we know already. Entering what I believe is the last chorus. Again, the empathetic. And lyric-wise, we go back to chorus 1. Interesting, because remember that chorus 2 had different lyrics. Tell no one except all of us. How did it end? And ending the song on that dreamy F Lydian chord. This was Taylor Swift's How Did It End? I'm sure we can take away more than valuable songwriting learnings. Songwriting learning number 1 is about modal experiments. You don't always have to write a song in Ionian or Aeolian mode. This song uses the Lydian mode brilliantly, right? Where we instantly evoke that dreamy feeling that becomes really clear in that chorus progression with that C and that G that does not resolve to the C but instead keeps coming back to the F, something very floaty, something very dreamy, and something that the Lydian mode can achieve. We have to be aware of the different modes and apply them accordingly. If you want to know more about modes, I suggest taking a look at the almost but not quite complete guide to songwriting link in the link tree. Songwriting learning number 2 is about paying close attention to those tiny details in the lyrics while writing, something that Taylor Swift is just brilliant at, maybe also with the help of Aaron Dessner, who co-wrote the song here. So we have got prosodic elements like this descent element with the empathetic hunger descends with melody going down at the same time. We have got beautiful alliterations, especially in the primary bridge with silence, as the soul was leaving, the deflation of our dreaming, leaving me bereft and reeling, also with the reappearing of that leaving motif and idea. So this is something that Taylor Swift is just brilliant at, this poetic details within the lines, alliterations, prosodic elements and stuff, something that we can just admire and learn from. And songwriting learning number 3, something you don't like me pointing out, the mis-stress issues that Taylor Swift likes doing. I don't know why. Maybe they are a prosodic element in their own right. But if I hear we were blind to unforeseen circumstances or and fell victim to interlopers glances, I think that this can be better. Those are the stress issues that especially we as beginning and intermediate songwriters want to avoid. And yes, you can do that if you're Taylor Swift, but let's be honest, most of us want to get there first, and the best way to get there is to kind of know the stress rules to the lyric writing game. And this was my live reaction and on-the-fly analysis of How Did It End by Taylor Swift. If you liked the video, please make sure to give me the thumbs up, to subscribe to the Let's Talk Song channel, to become a paying member maybe even, and to also leave friendly comments, maybe also suggesting other songs that you would like me to analyze. Let me thank Andrew Morgan, UMSE, My Unfinished Ideas, Jonathan Ribeiro, those other YouTube paying songists, and JC, Prince of Wales, Amy May, Jennifer Grinder, and Lena over on Patreon. If the rest of you also want to contribute financially, please check the links in description. I guess we've talked song. You can talk about the problem of SUVs and city traffic and the debates around this. Bye-bye.